There is a precious moment that is often overlooked in the rush of modern life. The stillness of the morning. When the first light of dawn quietly touches the earth. When the early breeze is crisp and gentle. And before the world falls into its hurried rhythm, our minds too have the chance to settle, to return to their original calm. In these first moments of the day, we hold the power to plant the seeds of balance, mindfulness, and wisdom for the life ahead. Today's video, Morning Stillness, a guide to centered living, presented by Buddha's Wisdom Journey, invites you on an inner journey, an invitation to come back to your breath, to your stillness, and to your true self. This is not just a morning ritual for peace, but a deeper call to live with steadiness, to walk through the currents of life with a mind anchored in awareness and a heart wide open with clarity and compassion. In today's world, we are often swept away by the noise of urgency, endless tasks, constant notifications, the pressure to achieve more, to become someone more. In that rush, we forget a simple truth, that true happiness is not found in how fast we move, but in our capacity to pause, to breathe, to be present with what is here and now. Morning stillness is the doorway to that truth. When you sit quietly in the early hours and take a single deep breath, the body begins to relax and the mind softens. Each breath becomes a reminder. You are alive. You are here. You have a fresh chance to begin again. Stillness is not about escaping the world, but about preparing yourself to live fully within it. With awareness, with strength, with serenity. It is like a cool stream flowing through a dry desert, nourishing body and soul alike. Here at Buddha's Wisdom Journey, our purpose is to walk beside you in this practice, to help you transform mornings from rushed beginnings into sacred rituals of presence. When you cultivate the habit of slowing down and turning inward, you discover that life doesn't need to be loud to be meaningful. Just a touch of silence, a breath of gratitude, and a heart open to the moment. These are enough to make the day whole. As you listen to this video, I invite you not only to hear with your ears, but to feel with your heart. Let the gentle rhythm of stillness reach you. Let the breath guide you home. Let the calm you cultivate in these moments become the foundation upon which you carry yourself through the rest of the day. With peace, with balance, with wisdom. If you find meaning here, allow this practice to become a companion in your mornings. And if you wish to continue exploring the path of mindfulness and Buddhist wisdom, I warmly invite you to subscribe to Buddha's Wisdom Journey. Together, we can create a community that honors presence, cultivates peace, and shines the light of awareness into each new day. For every mindful step, every peaceful breath, is a jewel on the path back to our true home within. Every day we wake up to a familiar rhythm. Some people jump out of bed immediately, rushing into tasks waiting for them. Others grab their phone first thing, letting news and noise from the outside world flood their mind. Many start their mornings as if stepping into a race, pushed by an invisible pressure, already tired before the day has even begun. But ask yourself, what would happen if you gave yourself just a few moments of stillness before the world pulls you in? Morning is not just the time after sleep, it is the starting point of the entire day. The way you begin your morning is like planting a seed in your mind. If the seed is stress, hurry, and restlessness, the whole day may carry that same weight. But if the seed is calm, gratitude, and mindfulness, then the day unfolds with a completely different tone. Morning stillness is not just a small habit, it is an art of living. In silence, you have a chance to see your mind clearly. It is not outside noise that truly exhausts us, but the restless stream of thoughts inside. When you pause for a few minutes, take a deep breath, or simply listen to birdsong outside your window, you are offering yourself a gift, the gift of returning to balance. Imagine a morning when you don't rush to your phone, don't dive into conversations, and don't let responsibilities weigh on you immediately. You simply sit, feeling the gentle light entering through the window, noticing the rhythm of your own breath. In that moment, the world slows down. You don't have to force yourself to prepare for everything, because your heart is already at ease. And the beautiful thing is, that calmness stays with you throughout the day. No matter what challenges appear, you have a stable ground to return to. It is like carrying a blue sky within you. Clouds and storms may come, but they cannot take away your clarity. In Buddhism, there is a simple image. The mind is like water. When the water is stirred up, we cannot see clearly to the bottom. But when it is still, everything becomes visible. Morning is the perfect time to let the waters of your mind settle. After a night of rest, your thoughts are lighter, not yet colored by the chaos of the day. If you use this moment to return to stillness, you'll discover a fresh, luminous energy, gentle yet powerful. You might say, "I'm too busy. How can I find time to sit still in the morning?" But remember, stillness doesn't have to last for hours. Sometimes, just 5 minutes of silence, breathing deeply and realizing you are alive, is enough to shift the entire quality of your day. You can start with very simple things. When you first open your eyes, smile and whisper a word of gratitude, instead of rushing into worries. When you wash your face or make a cup of tea, do it mindfully, as if it were a small morning ritual. Before leaving the house, pause for a few seconds, take one deep breath, and release all tension. These small actions are seeds of peace. And when planted in the morning, your day grows into a garden of calm. What's even more precious is that stillness does more than reduce stress. It allows you to touch the deeper truth of yourself. When the mind is not scattered, you see clearly what truly matters, and what is only noise. You react less impulsively, and instead respond with wisdom and calm. A day that begins in stillness is like a boat that sets sail on a calm lake. Waves and winds may come later, but the boat keeps its direction, because its journey began on steady water. In the same way, a peaceful morning becomes the foundation for a balanced day. And as you nurture this practice over time, you'll notice something. Stillness is no longer just a morning ritual. It becomes a quality that flows through your whole life. You carry it into your work, into your relationships, into your words and actions. You stop being swept away by life's current because you know how to pause, to breathe, and to smile. Why mornings hold a sacred power. When the first light of dawn touches the horizon, the world seems different. The air feels lighter, the sounds quieter, the rhythm of life not yet rushed. And within you, something mirrors that same stillness. The morning hours carry a unique energy, unlike any other time of day. Your mind, just waking from the deep rest of sleep, is still fresh, soft, pliable, and free from the heavy dust of worries. It is in these tender moments, before the rush begins, that you hold the greatest power to set the direction of your entire day. Think of your mind in the morning as a pool of water that has rested undisturbed through the night. The waves have calmed, the ripples have faded. What you do first, whether you throw a stone of worry, a pebble of gratitude, or a flower of calmness, creates the ripples that will carry through the rest of your day. This is why the ancients often spoke of dawn as sacred. It is not merely the beginning of the day, but the beginning of your state of being. Morning stillness, building the foundation of the day. Imagine building a house No matter how beautifully you design the walls or how carefully you arrange the furniture, everything rests on the foundation. If the foundation is shaky, the entire house becomes unstable. The morning is your spiritual foundation. If it is set in calmness and mindfulness, everything you build on top, your work, your relationships, your responses to challenges, will have strength and balance. But if your morning is filled with chaos, anxiety, or mindless distraction, the whole day leans on shaky ground. Stillness in the morning is not about doing nothing. It is about doing something deeply essential. It is the act of grounding yourself, of anchoring your heart before the winds of the world begin to blow. Just as a tree extends its roots deep into the soil before it reaches upward, you too need to root yourself in stillness before stretching into the demands of life. This foundation need not take hours. Even a few mindful breaths, a few minutes of silence, or a simple act done with awareness can become the cornerstone upon which your day stands firm. The blank page of the mind. In Buddhist imagery, the mind at dawn is often compared to a blank sheet of paper, fresh, untouched, unmarked. What you choose to write upon it determines the story that unfolds throughout the day. If you write anxiety, fear, or comparison, then that is the ink that will color your experience. But if you write peace, gratitude, and clarity, then your day becomes a manuscript of harmony. Most of us forget this power. We allow the world to grab the pen from our hands. News headlines, social media feeds, emails, or endless to-do lists scribble across our mental page before we've even had a chance to breathe. And then we wonder why the day feels restless and heavy. But the truth is, the pen has always been in your hand. Each morning you are offered a pristine canvas, and you alone decide how to begin. By choosing silence, by choosing a moment of calm, you begin your story with light instead of shadows. A fragile yet powerful window. Mornings are fragile in the most beautiful way. The mind is more open, less guarded. Just as a seed more easily takes root in soft soil than in hardened ground, the mind more readily absorbs direction in the early hours. If you plant a seed of mindfulness in the morning, it grows strong and steady through the day. If you plant a seed of agitation, it too will grow, perhaps even faster, because the soil is fertile. That is why the first thoughts you entertain, the first emotions you welcome are so powerful. They act as a compass, quietly steering your attention and your energy. Begin with tension, and you carry that into every encounter. Begin with calm, and even challenges feel lighter. Stillness as a returning point. Another gift of morning practice is that it gives you a point of return. When the day grows busy, when your mind is pulled in 100 directions, you can recall the stillness you touched at dawn. It becomes a reference, a reminder of the peace that is always available. Just as a traveler remembers the way home by landmarks, your morning stillness becomes a landmark of the soul. No matter how far you stray during the day, you know the way back. Practical ways to embrace morning silence. You don't need elaborate rituals. Start simple. Upon waking, pause before reaching for your phone. Place your hand on your heart and feel your breath. Whisper a word of gratitude. As you drink water or tea, do it slowly, mindfully, tasting not just the liquid, but the presence of the moment. Sit in silence, even if only for 5 minutes. Let your thoughts come and go without clinging. Just breathe. Just be. These moments might seem small, but their impact is vast. Like the gentle roots of a tree that eventually hold up a giant trunk. These small acts of stillness will hold up the weight of your day. Living with awareness of the blank page. Every morning, life hands you a fresh page. This is both a blessing and a responsibility. You may not control everything that fills the day, but you can choose the first words, the first lines. Will you begin with fear or with faith? With complaint or with gratitude? With restlessness or with peace? In choosing peace, you are not only shaping your day, but also reshaping your life. Each morning becomes a chance to train the heart, to polish the mirror of the mind, to root yourself in awareness. Over time, this practice transforms mornings from a rushed routine into a sacred opening. The invitation. So, tomorrow when you wake, remember, your mind is a blank page. Your heart is soft soil. Your morning is the foundation. Take those first few minutes not as a luxury, but as the most essential act of your day. Sit in stillness. Breathe. Smile. Let stillness be the ink with which you write your story. Let peace be the ground on which you build your day. Because a day that begins with stillness does not just pass, it blossoms. Wisdom Reflections. The Buddha once said, "When the mind is calm, wisdom arises." These words are not just a spiritual teaching. They are a living compass for daily life. In the stillness of the morning, when the world has not yet demanded our attention, there is a window of clarity. It is in this window that we can choose how we wish to live the rest of the day. Think of the mind as a still pond. If you drop a stone into it, the ripples will spread in all directions. If the water is muddy and restless, those ripples will be lost in turbulence. But if the pond is clear and calm, each ripple is visible, each reflection undisturbed. This is what happens when we begin the morning with balance. The smallest thoughts, the most subtle emotions, can be seen clearly. We become aware of what is truly guiding us instead of being carried away unconsciously. In our fast-paced world, silence is often mistaken for passivity, but silence is not doing nothing. Silence is the ground from which wise action arises. True stillness is not about retreating from life, but about showing up fully present, with awareness sharp and compassionate. To be silent is to listen, not only to the sounds around us, but to the whisper of our own heart. When we start the day in stillness, we create a foundation. Without this foundation, life's inevitable challenges can shake us easily. A harsh comment, an unexpected difficulty, or even a busy schedule can throw us off balance if we are not grounded. But when the morning begins with calm presence, we are less reactive. We see things as they are, not as our fears or attachments distort them. Imagine stepping into a crowded marketplace. Everyone is shouting, moving quickly, trying to get your attention. That is what the world can feel like once the day unfolds. But if you have already cultivated inner stillness, it is like carrying a quiet space within you. Amid noise, you remain steady. Amid chaos, you remember peace. This is why Buddhist practice often emphasizes the early hours. Morning meditation, mindful breathing, or even a few moments of gratitude are not small rituals. They are acts of reclaiming your mind before the world claims it for you. They are declarations that your day will not be ruled by anxiety, comparison, or distraction, but by clarity and intention. The truth is, the quality of our mind shapes the quality of our life. A restless mind creates restless actions. A calm mind leads to wise choices. Beginning the morning with awareness is like tuning an instrument before playing a song. Without tuning, the melody will be distorted, no matter how skillful the musician. With tuning, every note carries harmony. So, what does it mean to live with wisdom from the very start of the day? It means pausing before rushing. It means noticing the breath before checking the phone. It means choosing kindness before irritation takes hold. Wisdom does not arrive as a sudden lightning bolt. It blossoms gradually, nurtured by small, consistent choices. When you light a lamp in a dark room, the shadows retreat. In the same way, when you bring stillness into the morning, confusion and agitation lose their grip. This is not about escaping life's demands. It is about facing them with an inner strength that cannot be shaken. Stillness is a kind of power, not the power of control or domination, but the power of presence. When you are still, you do not waste energy reacting to every little disturbance. You conserve that energy for what truly matters. You begin to live from the center of your being, rather than from the restless surface. And so, when the Buddha reminds us, when the mind is calm, wisdom arises. He is pointing us toward a practice we can embody each morning. Stillness is not a luxury. It is the soil in which compassion, patience, and clarity take root. If we neglect it, our day grows tangled. If we nurture it, our day blossoms into harmony. Let each morning be a gentle return to this truth. Let silence teach you. Let the breath remind you. Let stillness shape you. And from that stillness, step into the day not as someone chasing after life, but as someone already at peace within it. Small habits, profound shifts. Sometimes transformation doesn't come from grand gestures or radical changes, but from something as simple as waking up just 10 minutes earlier. 10 minutes might seem insignificant, but within those quiet moments lies the potential to reshape the entire flow of your day. When you wake up a little earlier, you create a pocket of time that belongs entirely to you, before the demands of work, family, and the world start pressing in. In this sacred pause, silence becomes your companion, and stillness becomes your teacher. It doesn't require elaborate rituals or hours of practice. Just a few minutes of conscious presence can plant the seeds of peace that will continue to grow throughout the day. You can weave this stillness into simple morning rituals. Perhaps it's sitting with a warm cup of tea, feeling the steam rise and soften your breath. Perhaps it's standing by the window as the first light of dawn filters through, letting your heart open to the beauty of a new beginning. Or maybe it's taking a slow, mindful walk outside, each step connecting you back to the earth, each breath reminding you that life is unfolding in this very moment. The point is not how long you sit, how many breaths you count, or how perfectly you practice. The essence lies in consistency. A short, steady practice each morning shapes the mind far more deeply than long sessions done sporadically. Just as drops of water can carve a river through rock, a few steady moments of silence each day can carve a path of clarity through the noise of life. Over time, you will notice a subtle shift. The day feels less rushed. Challenges seem less overwhelming. Even in the midst of chaos, you carry within you a quiet center, a place untouched by noise. That is the gift of a morning practice. It doesn't just change your mornings, it transforms how you live your life. So tomorrow, before reaching for your phone, before rushing into the tasks ahead, give yourself the gift of 10 minutes. Let those minutes be a gentle offering to your own well-being, a reminder that peace is not something you chase. It is something you cultivate, moment by moment, with presence and care. Morning silence, the seed of a balanced day. Life often feels like a rushing river, carrying us from one demand to the next before we even have time to breathe. The morning, the very first moment when we awaken, is like the spring of that river. If the source is clear and calm, the flow that follows will be smooth and gentle. But if the source is disturbed, the whole stream becomes turbulent. This is why the first minutes of your day hold such great power. Silence in the morning is not just a pause from noise. It is an invitation to return to your center, to awaken not only the body, but also the heart. In silence, we touch the ground of being, that steady place inside where peace is always available. The Buddha once taught, "When the mind is still, wisdom arises." Beginning your day with stillness means giving wisdom a chance to guide you before distractions claim your attention. Imagine your morning like a canvas, fresh, untouched, waiting for the first stroke. You can choose to paint it with worry, with endless scrolling, with rushing thoughts, or you can choose to mark it with calm, gratitude, and intention. 10 minutes of stillness may sound small, but it plants a seed. And as with all seeds, what you nurture in the morning will grow throughout the day. Why morning silence matters. When the mind first awakens, it is fresh, open, and less clouded by the stories and noise of the world. It is like soft clay, easily shaped. What you impress upon it in the morning will set the tone for your inner landscape. Begin with peace, and peace carries you. Begin with chaos, and chaos shadows your steps. This is not about doing nothing. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is presence. To sit quietly, to breathe, to watch the first light, to drink tea with awareness. These are acts of profound nourishment. They remind us that we are not machines meant to run endlessly, but beings with hearts that long for depth, for meaning, for connection. A simple invitation. Tomorrow morning, before the rush of the world arrives, give yourself the gift of silence. Just a few minutes. Sit, breathe, watch the light enter your room. Notice your thoughts, but don't chase them. Place a gentle intention in your heart. Something simple like, "Today I will live with compassion," and then step into your day carrying that light. The transformation may not be dramatic at first, but it is subtle and powerful. You may find yourself less reactive, more patient, more attuned to beauty. You may discover that silence is not an interruption of life, but the soil from which true living grows. A call to journey together. We are not alone in this practice. Every morning, countless hearts around the world awaken with the same longing for peace, for clarity, for love. Let us walk this path together. If you feel inspired, share your morning experience in the comments. What did you notice when you gave yourself silence? Did the day feel different? Did your heart feel lighter? And if these reflections resonate with you, I invite you to subscribe to this channel. Together we can continue to explore the living wisdom of the Dharma, not as distant philosophy, but as practices we can touch, taste, and live every day. Because the truth is simple. When you begin your morning in silence, you carry a temple within you throughout the day. As we come to the close of this reflection, I invite you to pause once more and feel into the silence that has been woven throughout our journey together. Morning silence is not a concept to be admired from a distance. It is an experience, a living presence that you can step into every single day. When you rise with awareness, when you gift yourself just a few minutes of stillness before the noise of the world begins, you are reclaiming your life from the endless pull of distractions. So often, our mornings rush past us like a storm, and we find ourselves already caught in stress before the day has even begun. But the truth is, you don't need to wait for peace to arrive by chance. You can create it. Silence is already within you, waiting like a calm lake beneath the surface of your thoughts. And when you touch it each morning, you set the tone for everything that follows. Imagine this, the simple act of breathing deeply for 3 minutes, sitting quietly as if your mind were an open sky, or choosing a gentle intention such as, "Today, I will live with compassion." These are not small gestures. They are seeds, and when you plant them consistently, they grow into a life rooted in clarity, balance, and joy. The Buddha's wisdom reminds us, when the mind is still, wisdom arises. This is not just a teaching, it is a direct experience available to you, here and now. When your mornings are grounded in silence, you discover that your responses throughout the day become calmer, your heart becomes softer, and even challenges lose some of their heaviness. And yet, this journey is not one to be walked alone. Together, as a community, we can inspire and uplift one another. That is why I warmly invite you to share your own morning practice in the comments. What helps you begin the day in balance? How do you touch into silence? Your words might become the very reminder someone else needs to begin their own journey. If this reflection has spoken to you, if you feel the call to invite more peace, clarity, and wisdom into your mornings, I encourage you to subscribe to this channel. Each week, we share teachings and practices rooted in Buddhist wisdom, gentle reminders to bring you back to yourself, to what truly matters. By subscribing, you're not just receiving more content, you're joining a circle of people who are learning, practicing, and growing together in mindfulness. So tomorrow morning, when you open your eyes, let this be your gentle invitation. Before reaching for your phone, before rushing into the day, give yourself the gift of silence. Even if it's just for a few moments, sit, breathe, listen. Watch how the quality of your whole day begins to transform. And then, come back and share your experience with us. Let's walk this path together, in stillness, in compassion, and in wisdom. May your mornings be spacious, your heart be steady, and your day unfold with peace. If you haven't already, please take a moment to subscribe, so that we can continue this journey of mindful living side by side. And don't forget to leave a comment below. Your reflection might be the light someone else needs to find their way back to calm.